Okie doke.
And we're live-ish. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties on somebody's part. I won't say who. Things
Are there any
happen.
hints who might have a problem? There's no hints. Everything's normal. Everything's just the same as it always is.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And you sound perfect. I mean, mwah. Great quality.
Trekyards doesn't work. No, literally, I pressed Skype and it wouldn't open, and then I pressed it again, it wouldn't open, and I'm like, I restarted, wouldn't open. Neither versions. So now I'm on my phone. This is just a funny angle. I'll swap it to be better audio, but it's just a fun, like, look, it's weird. It's one little mini tripod I can put, like, here. I don't want to keep you waiting, guys. I'm just going to reinstall Skype. That's what I'm going to do.
Yes.
Millennia.
Anyway, thank you guys for joining us. Yes, the topic for tonight's live has changed. I was originally going to be talking to this man about temporal anomaly.
Which is kind of good that it wasn't my epic thing.
Right? Commander, you do not sound perfect. Yes, well, this is true.
Your your camera's at an angle. Really? You think?
It's because it's his phone, I believe, correct?
Yes, my S8. Must sound a little bit better though, because it's much closer to camera, at least. God, that's weird. How's our jitteriness? Is that fixed, guys? Is it nice and real time?
Everything looks beautiful, actually.
And on my end, it's getting better, but it's still not perfect. And you're also more zoomed in than I thought you were. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm both ends.
Yeah. So.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. I filmed a Captain's Log today, edited that. I did a Eagle Moss review, edited that. I got my Eagle Moss shipment in today, did an unboxing video for that.
Not even one of mine. That's.
I told Anne, I told her to contact you via email, as she said she would. I will kick her in the butt again and get her to message you. So.
Jenny specifically, you didn't get the F, did you? The limited edition F?
I did not yet. There's another shipment on the way that didn't arrive. I got a small shipment today. So, but anyway.
Oh. Okay, let me call you back.
Okay. He's calling on me back. So, there we go. Yay. So, in the meantime... Oh, here we go. Hello?
Look, I called you back.
Oh, you did, and it's on the computer. Yay. Do you want to take over the stream so the quality's better?
Can do. It didn't even ask me to log in. It's just like, oh yeah, you're you. That's fine. Let me just have OBS while you talk to the fans, the wonderful people in the chat.
So, breaking news that kind of just...
It's new. I mean, it's breaking, I think.
Yeah, well...
We didn't break or anything, but it is breaking.
Yeah, so anyway, Season 3 has been confirmed for Discovery. It is coming back for Season 3. Despite all the news out there that it was not going to... It was canceled, it wasn't going to be renewed. We were always of the opinion that it would be renewed for Season 3, and it looks like we were justified in that. So, that's always a good thing. That's always a good thing.
Yeah, we didn't report, and also we'll go into this again later, but there's a slew of videos, and we didn't do a single bit of reporting on it because there wasn't really any evidence, and not good enough evidence for us, and we were right. So good for us. Reputation keeps clear of that sort of just saying whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like the stuff we say for whatever is only a reason for the reason we say it. And the stuff we don't say for whatever is also a reason why we don't say it. This is one of those such reasons. Was that clear? That must have been clear. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Now everyone must refresh. The refresh button is key, for everyone has lost us and thought we went away even though we told you we were going away. We didn't. Refresh. We're fine. Hopefully we're fine.
bear with us for a second, guys.
So Patrick puts in €2. Of course he does, because
Thanks.
he's awesome. I hit the like button. It hit me back. Hi, guys. Well, I'm sorry that it hit you back. Everybody should be hitting that like button. That would be awesome. So, yeah.
I must do.
Very spotty connection. I know. It's because I think my kid's on the
Just want to make sure it's connected back properly and everything.
It has not, looks like. Hasn't done anything. Start a different one. Oh, that might have done it. It has not. There we go, okay. I was that darn delay.
Ha! There we are.
Okay.
And we're back. Lore Reloaded. Woo! Lore Reloaded showed up. $5 super chat. Why are we talking about Discovery? Fake Trek. Let's talk about temporal anomalies. Real Trek. There you go. Well, we'll be talking about temporal anomaly next week now because we had to postpone it for this one. But thank you for showing up, Laura.
And Mr. Reloaded, you said you're going to do a lore breakdown on temporal anomaly, but it's been several weeks. I have been literally looking at your channel every other day to see. I'm expectant of that. So yes, guys, let's reiterate all. Wow, problem is we lost people. Okay, why don't you just talk to people? I'll share because that's actually an active thing, and then we can go over it again.
Right, yeah.
It's going great.
It's going awesome. Yes. Lore Reloaded, sing it. No, please don't. Yeah, guys. So, I know everybody was excited to talk about temporal anomaly today. So was I. We even advertised it early and all that jazz. And looking forward to speaking to Samuel about that. But we had to change it up because, like I said, breaking news is always important. And season 3 of Discovery is a fairly important thing to talk about, considering there's kind of been a misconception going around that it's not getting renewed or it has been canceled. And that's obviously not the case. So we're here to kind of talk about that. So if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to super chat. It's always welcome and helps out the channel and is just awesome. Lore Reloaded said, yeah, I failed you, Samuel. I promise it's coming. Going to push it. Congrats on 100K, right?
Thanks, man. I think we're almost hitting 200K with both parts combined. So, woo, we're like 170. Yeah. So I said to myself, once I hit like 20K, I just walk away and be like, oh, cool. Whatever it gets is great. And so when I hit 120, I was like, oh, great, cool. Whatever it gets is great. So I just check back like every other week and like, oh, nice. 6 more thousand. Nice. Because just whatever it gets now is fine. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Jay the Dog 84 says basically all the Discovery hate videos were hoping and clickbaity, that it was canceled, and now they are angry. There's going to be a season 3, and now's when the excuses come out that CBS bought its season 3 or something silly. I don't know what's going to be said, but there'll be a lot more clickbaity videos from other channels, I'm sure. I mean, it's up to you guys if you want to watch them, but
yeah, because I think I'm proud to say we've only done maybe 5 clickbait, like deliberately clickbait titles in the 4.5 years.
And they were actually not clickbait because we did talk about the topic, right?
Yeah. We always stay away from that. It's an active thing we try to stay away from.
Yeah. So anyway, yes. Hopefully, things go well for this live chat. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts. I know there's a lot of people that are, already bashing season 3, saying it's not Trek, it shouldn't be on the air. They'll still do fake clickbait videos. Their fans are so gullible. CBS, from what I've heard, is not making much money from Star Trek Discovery, and what logical it is to renewing a series that doesn't make money. It will make money. I mean, I'm not sure exactly all the numbers, of course, but
it's kind of like the motion picture to Wrath of Khan. They're able to reuse all the sets with a few changes. Once the infrastructure was there, if they choose to do because remember the first team burned most of the budget on the first 5 episodes. I don't see how, or they weren't like that elaborate, really. So obviously it was over budget. So if they just say, right, you've got 40% less budget this year, which means you don't have the ability to make such flashy throwaway special effects, make a much more
Because you've got the standing sets, you can build really cool things. You've got all the costumes, you've got all the people. You know, you can make a much smarter show with less money, and if you do that with better writing and better production, you know, better sense of the world and better use of canon, then with less money they'll make more money, and it'll look better. So, you know, they've put a lot of groundwork in. That if they just reduce the budget a ton and be smarter, neither teams have been smart in the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Better, but not smarter.
Plus, it's been rumored that soon that it's going to be going to network television on some stations. So, I mean, they're going to make money that way as well. So, I mean, whatever. Mega Nutribite puts in £2. If Star Trek Discovery Season 3 is like last week's episode, it should be good. I'd say if it's like any of Season 2 so far. Season 2 has been pretty consistently good, especially compared to Season 1. Season 1, we weren't really very happy with a lot of what came out of Season 1. Season 2 seemed to fix a lot of the mistakes and is kind of heading in the right direction, so we're happy about this.
The biggest problem with Season 1, beyond just the writing as a general caveat, is that the wrong person was in charge to set the direction for the show artistically. That was the wrong decision, it was the wrong art style, and that then clouds everyone's opinions. Because if it was at least a consistent show, you would just say, it's okay. Like, it's kind of like as good as Enterprise Season 2. Like, it's fine, Season 1, like, you know, I mean, well, maybe this season's more close to Season 2. It's like, it's fine. It's certainly not a standout Trek show. And obviously Pike is as good as other good characters have been, you know.
Yeah, and as we've said before, like, it takes a season or 2 for Star Trek to really find its legs in most cases. Because you look back at Season 1 of, like, Deep Space Nine or even TNG, and it's kind of like, There's a few good moments you can pick out of it, but then it gets its legs, it gets a good stride going, and then it's pretty good. Plus, the changing of producers and just showrunners back and forth is not helpful, but you know, there were some changes that happened in TNG as well early on.
You know, obviously lots and lots of people have said lots of things in the last, 3 hours or whatever since that's been a thing. I do think it's a false thing to say because the TNG Season 1 was bad, therefore Discovery is allowed to be bad in Season 1 and 2. It's like... So you're saying every Star Trek show is allowed to have a rubbish first season, that in modern day they're allowed to have poor characters? Like, it wasn't good at the time. It was bad of Enterprise to make such a villain first season. It was bad of TNG to make such a, that's bad on them. It doesn't give them justification to make a bad Discovery. Why don't you try and make every season of a TV show good? Why can other shows be brilliant the first season? Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones. Why are they all so good? And why, you know what I mean? It's not...
Because there's no expectations going into it, generally. It's not like the Star Trek fan base.
Discovery wasn't just average, it was below average. If it was just average, we'd be like, oh, okay. Like
That's because they were trying something new. They were going for the darker, grittier, more modern version of Star Trek based on shows like Game of Thrones and other modern shows that have been proven really popular. And it just didn't fit the mold of Star Trek well.
Well, yeah. It's also, wrong creative guy at the start, and then they Frankenstein the season. And it's amazing how well it turned out. But I mean, they had to. They couldn't cancel it mid-season. So it doesn't give them an excuse to be bad. Yes, that might be the curse. It's like, are you saying that every Star Wars trilogy needs to have the best, because the first trilogy had the best second part, therefore second part should be the best? I mean, you can't use past experiences when it's different teams. They should all be good. Why are you allowing them to make bad seasons? It's a dumb argument.
Well, Lore Reloaded puts in $5. Thanks, Lore.
Thanks, man.
It makes no sense to me that CBS would willingly take such massive losses. I don't think the execs would burn their biz to the ground for an agenda. I totally agree.
I bet you they're like estimated to break even. I bet something like that. And we know they've got more subscribers based on other properties, so they can like funnel money from one into... like I said, it's all standing sets. Like if they... I can't imagine them making like a massive loss. Their promotional budget was huge for Season 2, but obviously that did help them get subscribers. I don't know. There's also no mid-season break. That's going to help them a lot, because people keep the hype wagon going. Because then...
Are they doing a mid-season break this time?
Not as far as I know. I think it's continuous.
Yeah.
And so many people just dropped off because why would you continue in the mid season? So by doing that, you actually get continuous weeks of, you know, I'll just keep paying. So I think they're probably gonna, you know, and often a 10 million isn't a big loss in the grand scheme. And again, standing sets, they've got all this stuff ready to go.
Yeah.
You know, loss is relative. You know.
Yeah. IP Man 501 puts in $10.
Oh.
Thank you very much.
Praise man, thank you.
Do you expect to see things continue to evolve forward, TOS aesthetics, since some things have been fixed, explain the Klingon hair, no hollow on Enterprise, or no more effort towards getting the TOS look and feel? I'm expecting not a lot more effort towards that. They've kind of stated a few times that it just can't look like that. But they've also said it'll line up more at the end.
But that was old people.
I know.
Before everything changed up.
I'm hoping for the best, and I would like to see it get a little more towards TOS look. Even if more modernized TOS is fine, it just doesn't look TOS. You look at that bridge, you don't think TOS. You know what I mean? So,
or at least 2260s to be more appropriate. You don't think that era.
Yeah.
I think at this point, given that the way they've backtrodden, the Klingons were a must, but no one agreed with that except Brian Fuller. We know the makeup guy didn't like it. We know obviously they changed it. As soon as they could, they changed it. But they can't redo all the sets and stuff. It's not practical necessarily. Although I said this is their chance for the end of season 3 and season 2. Now you know you got season 3, and they don't think they're actually wrapped on season 2 because they tend to do like a big final day on set picture. You know, they haven't done that as far as I'm aware. I think we'd know. So I think they're still shooting. So they could easily like rejigger the last episode knowing they've got another season. I think the safest bet would be, you know, the Spore tech is removed. That allows them to refit Discovery. Oh yeah, we were intending for Discovery to get more TOS looking. The roundness cells, obviously, that was a season 3 thing. Oh, always planned for that. You know, 2 seasons of Spore tech, and then it's more warp drive. Yeah, it gets refit. So I think that would be a very safe, because that also they can then sell more merchandise. I mean, people don't buy the Discovery as a miniature. Eaglemoss is more a completionist rather than and that's the only really good one to get. But imagine if they did a more of an in-between step, a true in-between, so even just towards the Enterprise, they would sell a lot more toys, they'd get a lot more whatever. And that would be... And then you could excuse the sets being tweaked, even just change some of the colours. I mean, you could do, as we said, 25% different, and you can make the Discovery a pretty good Star Trek show, in art design terms.
Yeah. IP Man 501. You read that one already. Sorry. Stephen Fathry puts in $2 and says, I enjoy season 2 of Discovery much more than season 1 or season 2 of Enterprise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Would you rather have lots of vanilla or some great and some bad? Well, yeah.
Consistency's good. So,
okay.
You know, I don't want to be like, I love this episode. Oh, I hated this episode. I love this episode. I don't like the roller coaster ride. I like the kind of, this was better than last week's, but, you know, okay. I kind of like the mild coaster ride, not the extremes we got in season 1, because there were a few good things about season 1 that we really jumped on and loved.
Yep. But we had to, because there were so few.
True. This is true.
But another question, do you prefer 2 seasons in the Enterprise characters or the Discovery characters?
Discovery characters, to be honest.
Okay.
I liked Archer. I didn't like T'Pol. I like Trip. I like Trip and Phlox and Archer, basically.
Oh, you mean the characters?
Yes. Hoshi, Mayweather, Malcolm was kind of on the fence for a while, and then he went into the like pile. But same with T'Pol. Just off the hop, you know. But I like Stamets. I like Tilly. I liked Lorca. I like Saru more or less. I mean, I liked him the most beginning season 1, then he kind of fell away. But he's kind of coming back as a good character. Burnham,
They've rebooted Saru, so it's going to be different.
Yeah, I don't like Burnham. I definitely love Pike. I think there's better characters. I don't want to go on record saying that necessarily, but I've really enjoyed the characters from Discovery so far, more or less. There's a few that I don't even know and I would like to get to know, but...
I mean, it's a weird comparison, because Enterprise had twice as many episodes in the same amount of time. It had twice as many characters that actually had characters. But it was more focused on story. It had way more story than Discovery, which means the characters got a lot less to do. But you got more sci-fi, you got more sci-fi stuff, you got more ships, you got more tech. So if you wanted if you want week by week sci-fi show, you definitely watch Enterprise season 2. If some of it wasn't great. If you want characters, Discovery, but at the same time, some other things are weak. So they are different shows. You can't really, juggle them. That's why I said about characters. Like, you don't necessarily want to be friends with the Discovery crew, but the Enterprise crew, for the most part, you get on with all of them. Like, they're all professionals. You could just walk in and serve with them. Discovery would be like, well, I mean, the mech, the lady at the front of the ship, she's a person. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. Mega Neurobyte puts in £2.
Thank you.
Will we see too much more based on the short treks?
Based on them?
Well, I mean, we got the Saru story that tied in with his short trek. I don't think we'll see anything based on Runaway. Calypso is definitely a possibility. There's so many possibilities with Calypso. And what was the other one? Oh, Mud. I'm sure Mud will come back in some capacity. So it's hard to say.
And sorry, Bill Barkley says, no way Intrepid class could take on all the ships in Temporal Anomaly. Yes, it could. I've done a long explanation about this on multiple posts. When we do our review live, believe me, I thought it through. It really can. It's all in the dialogue.
Ha!
Yes.
Michael Smith puts in $5. Discovery is a mockbuster like Transmorphers or Alien versus Hunter. It's doing well enough, perhaps, to renew, but that doesn't make it quality Trek.
Okay, another question to you then.
Right.
On average,
yes,
this is a quick one, is Discovery more Star Trek or more not Star Trek? Season 2. On that pendulum scale, even if it's 51, 50.
Season 2 is definitely way more Trek.
Okay.
I think. Season 1 was more generic sci-fi. But they are kind of lining up with the Trek.
Well,
even though... Yeah.
Well, it's just like Enterprise Season 4. Use the canon, you get benefits of using the canon. Use Pike and you get the benefits. It's not rocket science.
Well, War Reloaded put another $5. Thank you.
Crazy man.
I got to go, even though it was a few minutes ago, and he's still commenting in the chat, but that's okay. Last, I do love how some were like, oh my God, it's behind a paywall. And now we're like, oh my God, it's going on network. They sucks. Yeah. You can't make anybody happy no matter what you do. That's how it seems anyway.
It was a great move to make behind a paywall if the paywall was the world and cheaper.
Yeah, the world. Yeah.
And you got actual content. It doesn't work if it's just one portion of the world and you only get Star Trek pretty much that you want to watch. And Netflix is, it is a bad model, but we talked about that previously. It's probably because of all the different rights. They couldn't do it the proper way. You know what I mean? It's a shame because imagine if it was all the worldwide all access and they were doing like one short every fortnight because they had rolling in cash.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Do it. I mean, just talk about it. It'd be cool.
Dose of Petrick puts in €2. They can't discard now a flagship for future Treks.
Yeah. That's what I said to, I also told my parents about it. I was like, parents, this is news. Look, listen. And I said instantly, it's like, but they got to let it go a certain way. Otherwise, it will admit it as a failure. It can't be the least seasoned show in all of Trek. I mean, any way you look at it, the worst from the worst views, and it's got to be at least 3 seasons to just match TOS. If they want to be the third most the third least seasons, but it won't go for 7. I don't see that happening whatsoever. But 4 maybe if they really want to push it. But we said before 3 could be a nice little bow out on its own terms to focus on the other Treks, which were built from the ground up to be Trek. But it can't. Yeah, it makes sense to keep it going because otherwise you're admitting it was a failure.
Yeah. Michael Smith puts in $5. I don't hate Discovery. I'm just sad that this is what I must settle for as far as new Trek. It's like I wanted Transformers toy, but got a GoBots. Yeah, I can see that. That's a good comparison, actually. But keep in mind, there is more Trek coming. This is, I guess, the tide you over, even though not many people are happy with it.
This is the one that will be forgot. with
It'll
more
never be
time.
forgotten just because of the controversy it's stirred up. It'll be talked about, and as long as
Well,
you're being talked about, you're doing something right. you know,
but
good or bad.
it's like Into Darkness. We don't talk about Into Darkness except to complain. Like, it's forgotten in terms of Trek films. You know, you just
But
don't.
it's not. It's always referred to as the bad con
But
and all
that's
this.
exactly, and Discovery would be the prequel. You know,
Yeah.
little question we can answer very quickly. Professor McCoy's pop culture reviews. Wow, long one. Question: is Discovery an older vessel or a newer vessel?
Well, in season 1, episode 3, when they first come on board with the shuttle that Burnham is in as a prisoner, they land on the shuttle deck and they walk out and say, "Wow, there's not even any scuffs on the floor. This thing's fresh off the assembly line." So it was brand new at the beginning of Discovery.
Yes.
So
another
that answers your question.
Very easy answer. Another super chat, non-super chat. Sorry, Tom Gone 39 3D. Sorry, Steve Shrives put out a video today, pretty much debunking the 25% thing. He argues it was a comment made by Andrew Probert that got taken away out of context. John Eve's not Andrew Probert, and 25% is not debunked as a legal thing, yes, but as a thing, no. People, if you don't know who Johnny, like most people that can comment on that, don't know John, don't know him as a person, didn't talk to him outside of it. We know a lot more. So our context is slightly greater than just, oh no, CBS says it wasn't, therefore no. There's more, you know. So it's not debunked as per se. It's just not as legal as some people said it, but it's definitely still a thing.
Yeah. And as I said before too, I prefer the legal argument that legally has to be 25% different as opposed to the creative one. The creative one just makes them look like morons to just change things for the sake of change. At least if there's a legal reason, I could get more behind that and be a little bit more, respect them a little bit more for that.
Yeah, because then you'd know, okay, this is legally the best Trek we can get, rather than this is what you chose to make. Oh.
Yep. This is how you chose to treat us, yeah.
Well, it's like they released that new Anthem game, BioWare, which has had an amazing, Knights of the Republic, Mass Effect, some incredible franchises, and they chose to release Anthem. Because you know they were put on studio pressure, and it was like...
Hold on a second. I'll be right back.
And you know, I mean, I haven't played the game, but I mean, the reviews are pouring in. It's like, you know, it was a studio-mandated decision, and you know, they might have had a great creative decision at the start, but it was forced in a certain way, and you can see it dripping out of it, of the lack of quality, apart from visuals and vague gameplay. Total Anthony, hi gents. I got a Trekyards pin-up shirt. It's a great shirt. Thank you. Stuart should get all the credit for those. I make the videos. He makes the cool merchandise. But I am excited when we get the Foley class ultra high-res model done, which is Stuart's ship, so that we can sell some merchandise based on my ship, the USS Horizon, and his ship, the USS Foley. And I might even do other ships in the future. I certainly would love to. So, you know, hopefully you guys will be interested in there. Herbus Magnus. Steve Shrives did a great video on this. Yes, we just talked about that, and it's a good video. He's a little bit biased in a certain way. Tom Gull, my bad, it was Eve's, but how would you quantify the 25% difference? Well, it's a sense. I mean, as a designer, you've been designing for, 3 decades, you can make something roughly that. I mean, it's just a sense of a quarter. I mean, you can understand a quarter. If a pie is filled, take the quarter out. I mean, if you asked me to design a ship 25% different, I could do that. It would be just roughly. John Harrison, Khan, you're always here, man. And you never reveal your true self. You're always Harrison. Dum. Did you watch Pacific Rim? They had to use the analog Jaeger when the others died, so I'm saying they'll go to Pacific Alpha with analog controls. Ooh! I did see that film. I like the film. Sure, that'd be interesting. There's a fun old idea that why TOS has the more analog styles is because the Romulans and other such races were able to hack higher advanced systems, and so it was brought down to a more simple level because it's harder to hack a click switch than an all touchscreeny thing, and so there's certainly some logic to that, or just the captain wants a more real feel. My dad, who we had this, it's not an argument but a discussion about how in a fighter jet, say a slightly future fighter jet, you have these controls. Would you rather have one big flat, touch surface with no tactile feedback, or a combination of screen plus physical buttons that you could lose all sight, you could do whatever, and you could just, okay, that was the engine, rather than, okay, I've lost all my sight, and now where's the thruster control? So there is absolutely still a place for analog. I don't, it's got a genuine function around its form. So yeah, but it's just me, guys. So do let me know. Let me know via super chats, and I will answer any questions you have on season 3, which was I don't think. I'm sort of vamping now because Stuart's buggered off. I mean, for me, season 3 isn't at all a surprise. You got to give shows long enough. To actually have time to breathe. I mean, if you consider.
I'm back.
Hi, Stuart.
Hi.
You all right?
Sorry. Yeah, the neighbor was just at the door.
Oh.
What are you doing?
I was making a point that we've got to remember that Discovery is only at, like, episode 27 in 2 years. TNG reached episode 26 in 1 year. So the learning curve, I mean, they haven't had anywhere near as much experience, practice and stuff to actually get to that point. So, and same with Enterprise. I mean, they burn through episodes, and Discovery does not. It's nowhere the same amount. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, very true. Basically double the episodes per season, right? So
in the same amount of time with less budget, it amazes me. I still maintain Enterprise looks more expensive in many ways. They just use the budget better.
I would agree with that. There's also a lot more love and respect for the Star Trek franchise, I think, in Enterprise as well. Mm-hmm. Just for the people working on it, right? Mm-hmm. So
it was all about continuing the legacy rather than forging your own because money.
Yeah, exactly.
Off topic. You guys are going to have ships now, and where can I buy them? Where can they buy our ships?
Which ships are our ships?
Horizon and Foley.
Ah, like the models?
Yes, because I mentioned that someone said thank you for the pin-up poster. I said yeah, and I.
Oh, you got a pin-up poster? I want to see it. I want a picture.
I mean, a pin-up shirt. I mean, they love the shirt.
Sure.
And I pointed out we'll do posters of our own ships at some point, and hopefully you guys will support us by buying a few cool posters because we have some ships. Maybe more ships on the way. Who knows?
But as for the Foley class model stuff, if you're interested, just shoot me a direct message on Facebook, or contact us at trekyards@hotmail.com. I just put in the subject line Foley class model. I'll give you the information on how to grab that if you're interested. A few people have already picked one up and they're really happy with it, so that's awesome. Now, did we read John Harrison's super chat?
I had a whole long thing about he never reveals who he is. It was always Harrison, not Gone. Such a liar. Okay. Talks about who he really is.
Oh, Michael Smith. Michael Smith puts in $2. Best guess, what's the season 3 arc? Probably just shuttling people off to where they need to be and explaining why the spore drive was never talked about again, and setting up for the Section 31 show would be my thought.
Which was what Alex Kurtzman said. We want 3 seasons and then we'll swap over to Section 31. At least that's the implication of how he said it. Everything can change.
Yes.
I would guess it would focus even more towards exploration, even less war, because I know that didn't work.
Oh yeah, I would hope so.
Maybe like the new Captain of the Discovery, because I don't want it to be Saru, especially now he's now a Predator. Fine first officer, but shouldn't be a captain. It'd be very bad. He can't control his new body in sense of how he's feeling. He's an awful choice for captain, just like Burnham is. Both awful choice for captains. Would they make Burnham captain just for the sake of having her as the bestest ever captain person?
That's what I'm afraid they would do, and plus try to emphasize that Burnham and Saru best friend kind of relationship as captain and commander. Yeah, and plus season 3 is also going to, I think, explain about Calypso and what happens. Maybe it's all the lead up to that, the 1,000-year thing.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe like episode 1 starts, because you know how some seasons start with a mystery that it teases you about the entire year. So yeah, it starts with 2,000 years in the future, and we just see Discovery explode, and it's like, what? And then it jumps back 2,000 years earlier, and then we get the story of how Discovery gets destroyed in the mega future, and that's just the story, and it's just about people doing people things daily, but it leads into this weird temporal thing. I mean, it really depends on the payoff of season 2. I bet you again, I'm sure as Kurtzman, he signed all these amazing potential deals to get these other shows. That's a massive contract. It's a massive, sign of intent. So I'm sure season 3 was part of that pile of, I want to do season 3 too. I'm in charge. I've got season 2 plan. It's going to be, we're going to swap it into something a bit more interesting. Season 3 is going to happen, right? And they're like, yeah, just prove to us you can turn it around a bit. And so he's got, I bet you there's like a sort of part 2-ish to Red Angel. Not directly, but something that it does causes the part 3, season 3, and that'll be the plot to be an actual arc, which would be nice.
Yeah. Ryan Rogers puts in $5. Do you see next season becoming a true ensemble show like Deep Space Nine, or doubling down on Michael? Also, CBS has invested a lot in Miss Green Tobe, the face of Access. Who? Miss Green Tobe.
No
idea. I don't know. I mean, they're making this season a little more ensemble-ish. They're giving people lines, which is great, and join the away mission, and but I think it's going to be more in line with like TOS kind of ensemble-y. They're there. They have lines occasionally. Their names. But I don't think it's going to be anywhere near like Deep Space Nine as far as character development. I think it's in her contract that Sonequa Martin Green has to be the main character and be like in every scene and
there's
always being
there.
the one.
There's something got to be something there.
Because I've seen edits of or re-edits of Discovery where they kind of cut out some of those scenes and it flows beautifully without Michael Burnham piping up every 5 seconds. And yeah. So I think there's something in the contract that she's obligated to kind of be the star of the show. Well, that was the whole premise from the beginning.
Well, yeah, she gets the biggest paycheck theoretically, except Lorca, but he was not in every episode either. I think he was actually not in a couple. So therefore he was more, full-time guest recurring rather than, main cast member in the same way. Whereas she's in every episode, she's in every scene. She is the primary, so she is she is literally the poster child of this show. So if they were to diminish that, and remember the first black female lead. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, ensemble works, but the characters aren't formed that way. I mean, you saw what happened to Saru as soon as they didn't need him. He wasn't used for like 7 episodes in season 1. You see all these side characters, unless you are on the bridge for an entire episode, they don't get lines or anything characterful. But Burnham gets to be in every scene. Every chance they have to bring a different crew member down that has a purpose, they either don't give them anything to do or they just don't bring them down. Or do we say, not last episode, but they should have brought, rather than Burnham and somebody, it should have been like Detmer or the robot. It's like, send the qualified people down that are possibly more qualified. It's like, oh no, Burnham's going down too. So, okay. Sorry.
Well, Burnham does everything. She's even a test pilot, and she helped design those landing craft. And like, really, you don't have to be.
Yeah, why wasn't Detmer doing that? Why wasn't she the test pilot?
Or Arium helped design it, and then Detmer test flew it. Yeah, sure.
Because
why does it have to be Burnham?
Because then Detmer gets episode 1, the Black Lady gets. Roshova gets episode 2. Like, assuming you'd actually rewrite to give her something to do in that scene, and then the robot lady gets the. Again, you have to rewrite so that you get some lines, but you could, when it comes to the probe, like in the last episode, she was analysing it, you give her more lines there, so that's their focus, and then the tactical episode, you give the black guy on the bridge, and then the other one's the Chinese guy. So yeah, if you have one, like a distinct role to each secondary cast for each episode, that'd be great, but they're not committing to that. I mean, they're trying to have their cake and eat it too, but they didn't fully bake the cake in the first season, and then trying to like pull out some yummy bits for season 2, and it's like, you've got some stuff, but
it's a great description, great analogy.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
but with time to bake, it could be better.
It could be so much better. You yourself have fixed many of the scripts just on the fly with your ideas, because you're really good at that. It's not, especially if you have an understanding of Trek and how Trek works, which they seem to be lacking over there, unfortunately.
What season 3? I mean, is it worth mentioning that they got a new showrunner, co-showrunner? That's the other sort of breaking news, that Kurtzman has done this massive deal. I mean, to be fair, he's going to be in so many different productions, so it makes sense he can't necessarily be the head of any of them in particular, But he's no longer. He's gone from showrunner to co-showrunner, which is funny to me. What did you think when you read that?
I thought it was funny.
Yes.
It's the same thing, which is good because I don't want him in total control of everything. So he needs to have a counterpoint because Aquilus Gordon says, yeah, Spock was pretty good at everything too. But he wasn't, though, because there's one scene, I forget which episode of TOS, Uhura is fixing something under her console, and Spock pops his head in and says, it's going to be much longer. She goes, it'll be a lot faster if I wasn't being bothered, essentially. Yeah. And he's like, and he leaves. He let her do her thing. Scotty got a chance to do his thing all the time. It's not like Spock was running down into engineering and pushing Spock aside. And I don't know. It's just, I agree, Spock is a believable amount of...
Because he's heavily flawed too. You know, when left in charge, he can make really bad decisions. He doesn't quite get it. He can do science very well, although not perfect. He can't do engineering like perfectly. He can't do medical, certainly. You know, he's good in his field and he has general knowledge about other stuff and he's got some intuition, and he's not on every mission.
Aaron Foreman said, I need someone to confirm that Cisco designed the Defiant. Yes, he was on the development team before he came to Deep Space Nine. Then they shelved the project. Then he went back and finished the design process and built the ship. So, yes, he was on the design team.
But he did not design it, but he was in he was influential, to say the least. But I mean, it was a throwaway line in a good thing, in a good way. Like, it'd be weird if this random commander that was on Saratoga builds a new next warship and then gets sent to a state, like, he's just a guy with a bit of passion against the Borg, and so they took his instructions on board of cannons, shoot them, kill them. That's what he said. You know, I bet you that's what he said.
Yeah. TX Our Way puts in £5. Not a fan of Discovery. Do you think they will try more correcting in season 3 and try to win disaffected fans who have stopped watching, like myself, back? Yeah, I think that's going to be their agenda throughout from now on. To be honest, we've seen a few things like that already in season 2, and I'm sure they will continue it in season 3. They can't like do complete 180. They need to make it look natural and, you know, natural progression, and I think that's what they're going to eventually do. So yes. Michael Smith puts in $5. If the Game of Thrones season 3, who would you not mind seeing killed off permanently, and why? I wouldn't mind seeing Michael Burnham be killed off permanently, or even if she's the Red Angel and disappears after that or something. That's one of the reasons Spock doesn't talk about her, is because Spock's memory was erased, and she was erased from his memory because it was for his own good. I don't know.
Do you want to know what's funny? Michael actually adds the least to the show.
You're absolutely right. Except for she started the war with the Klingons, which should have never happened. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
You know, wouldn't it be fun if she died and got replaced with number 1 from, you know... I mean, I've said this before, but if number 1 became Captain Discovery, cool. There's nothing in canon about her. Have Burnham die, Saru be second in command, and number 1 take over. The first female blonde captain, because they love throwing those means nothing things at us. It's just a person, guys. Come on, get over it. And then they go, number 1. I mean, cool. Why not? And then Pike can come up every once in a while, zoom in at Warp and say, hey, I'm here to help, number 1. And she's like, I'm fine. Thanks, but, you know.
My new number 1 Spock is doing great.
Yeah.
Because he's not currently first officer.
Oh, so. Now, Saru and Spock, I think, could have some fun, properly done Nimoy Spock, I think. Despite the weird height difference, I think those two actually have had good chemistry. Jones and original Nimoy. Because I can't imagine the new Spock will have the same character, you know, mannerisms. And in fact, I watched the entire red carpet of season 2 for the promo. And, we didn't know when Spock was going to be in the show, and so the presenter asked him, when are you coming to the show, and he's like, I'll be there eventually. And he says, okay, well, what did you want? Did you watch much of Nimoy? He said, yes, I did, a lot of Spock. But then the more episodes I got in, the less I used, to the point where I just didn't use any because I wanted to be my own self. And now we're halfway through the season, It's like, oh, so what do you mean of your 4 episodes? What 3 in? You're like, if he's in all of them, that'd make sense because you'd find your flow. But if you're only in like 62 minutes of content, they decide, oh, I'm done with Nimoy. It's like, oh, seems a bit anticlimactic now we know that he's not in as much.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I was watching TOS the other day, thinking how I was watching. I forget which episode it was, but and I just thought nobody else can be Nimoy's Spock. I mean, he's just such a perfect character. Zachary Quinto has a look, kind of a more subdued, airbrushed kind of look to him. The character just isn't there like the original Spock, so it's somebody you can't really replace.
There's just so much depth, and it's somebody that internalized the character as opposed to played a character. That he said he stayed in character on set to the detriment of his relationship with his cast members. But you sensed it, it's tricky. And you look at Quinto and some great stuff, and then he also punches Khan in the face, and it's like, I mean, Spock wouldn't do that. Just wouldn't. End of story.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about the new co-showrunner. So do you want to know what her credits are on IMDb, Stuart?
Yes, please.
Not a lot.
Oh, okay. Could be a good thing. But...
Could be a good thing. Her first credit appears to be 2005. She was a casting assistant. And in 2006, she was a special thanks in Loving Annabelle. Oh no, first thing was, she was a nurse in Black Road in 2002. And then she was in a short in 2003. She was in one episode of a TV show in 2005. One episode of something, 2005. She's only got 7 plus 14 episodes acting credit. Okay.
Wow.
No, she's like 20 acting. Like 20 acting credits, and then 3 producing, and writer on a couple of things, and then
really good things that
the
she
originals.
and wrote for.
Don't know what that is. Rogue, Hart and Dixie, Exiles and O's, Never, Robert Banks Only Know, and The 10 Rules. Those last 2 are both shorts. And she helped to write, or did write, episodes of Discovery 13, 14, and 9. Which is the most interesting bit, because if there are only 14 episodes of the show, then she actually wrote the season finale, which has helped write the flow for the end of the season. If she knew she was going to be brought in, and then you're going to get season 3, then she's helping to recraft the arc.
Oh my god. See, that worries me, because a lot of what you read off there sounds like romantic kind of shows and whatever, right?
14 she wrote the last 2 episodes of the season.
Oh my god.
And 9. We're going to see soon.
Great. Why don't they just pull in people that worked on Trek before? Like, we know a few of them.
Do we?
A few of them even say, "Hey, I got a valid passport." So,
someone said Robert Hayes. She's supposed to have ferocious Star Trek knowledge. Could be brought in as control. Yeah, but they said that about lots of the people. They said, "Oh, I've been a long life Star Trek fan. They have Star Trek canon camp," and then they write Discovery. So they always throw that out. Every cast member said, "Oh, I was a big Star Trek fan." And it's like, if you're a big Star Trek fan, you wouldn't let you. It's weird. But yeah, I mean, she's done, actress, basic, simple crew, writing and producing, and she's basically a producer. She's done, quick math, 35 episodes of TV shows producing. So that's what her main thing's been. She also wrote 15 of one of those shows, and 4 of the other. So she's a writer-producer that's been doing that since 2012, really. So
brand new.
Well, I just think she's just a person they like. Maybe they were looking, and she happened to. I mean, she wrote at the end of the season. Maybe they were like, hey, these are the best scripts we've ever done for Discovery. Not saying much. How would you like to come on and help us craft? Alex Kurtzman is gonna pretty much walk away like Roddenberry did, and the people they promote as being involved and walked away straight away. He's gonna be just in name only producing these many shows. Would you like to take over because you've written these two? We think they're great. Would you like to take over? She's like, do I get paid more? Yes. Oh, great. Why wouldn't you? And as we said, all it takes is a single person at the top to change a direction. If she says to the people, oh yeah, the Enterprise bridge we built for episodes 13 and 14, we're going to repaint it to look more like The Cage or TOS for season 3. And everyone's like, oh. And then, the Klingons, we're gonna bring it down a bit. We're gonna, one person at the top can do a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I'm not optimistic though, based on what you read. RV puts in £5. In season 3, I would like to see more of the Federation aliens, a lot more. Andorians, etc. What about you? More new aliens or some familiar faces? I would love to see more aliens. I love seeing the Andorians and the Tellarites. I thought the Tellarites were actually a good reimagining of what a Tellarite should look like. The Andorians, with a little bit of a horn here as well, was an interesting take on it. So I would love to see more of that. We're getting that kind of with Linus being his species was in the motion picture. Even Arium, I think one of her rips was in, or one of the augment that she has was in Star Trek 3 in the bar scene. So yes, by all means, bring on more of what we're familiar with, even if we've just heard about them or seen them once in like a motion picture scene or something. There's a lot of Federation member worlds. There's like 1,000, I think they said. So by all means, bring them all in some capacity. I do like the fact that Linus is kind of a regular crew member now. I thought that was actually great. So yes, I think is my answer.
Season 1, they prioritized not showing famous stuff until look, it's a famous thing. Look, that was the whole thing. Season 2, it was like, oh look, there's a Barzan and there's a Saurian. Cool. And it's like, yeah, perfect. So yeah, I mean, there's a billion races. Sure, pick a couple of weird, cool ones. Go through the bar in Star Trek 3 and at the end of Star Trek 4 and just look at that big set of people. Go to DS9 and look at random aliens. Just say, we want him, and him. Remaster them for 2019. Cool. And everyone's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, what is old can be new again. But you've got all these aliens. Why create new ones that are just like, it's a dude with 6 eyes? Like, how does it work? Why does it function? Or just use...
Exactly. Yeah, Jirel Nadrith says the Cetacean, or... Cetaceans. They're actually mentioned. They're mentioned in the episode where... The first episode where Pike comes on board and they got used in this landing craft, and the guy, right before he gets killed, the science officer says, yeah, I was arguing mathematics, whatever, with my roommate who was the same race as MRES, and then all of a sudden he gets smashed. So they're referenced, so that's good. I would like to see one on screen for like real. That'd be awesome.
Although it confuses me that there would be a cetacean ops on the original Enterprise. I didn't feel like that was ever meant to be a thing.
Well, not cetacean, the cetacean, like MRES. She's a half cat. I'm probably saying the race wrong, but yeah, not cetacean. Catation. I don't know. But yeah, please, let's see one of those in real life. Let's see Lieutenant Eric's come on board for season 3. They can actually do a Lieutenant Eric's now. 3 legs, 3 arms. That'd be kind of neat before he served on the Enterprise for the last 2 years of their 5-year mission. Why not?
Again,
why Trekyards? Why y'all seem so sad it's renewed? I'm excited. We're not sad it's renewed. We're happy it's renewed. We've been saying it's going to be renewed for season 3, so I don't understand what you're talking about, Idic Warrior.
And we were just talking about...
Great name, by the way.
We were just talking about cool, exciting aliens to bring back for season 3. That's literally just what we're talking about.
We're not sad it's renewed at all. We're actually kind of happy it's renewed, because all the negativity with these videos that have cropped up saying, oh, it's canceled or it's not getting renewed, and just the clickbaitiness of it really bothered me personally.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to speak for Samuel, but so I kind of feel justified because we were asked that quite a bit when those were coming out. Is it going to be canceled? And we're like, no, I'm pretty sure it'll be renewed for season 3. So now we feel kind of vindicated. So there's no sadness here at all, my friend.
Yeah, we stayed away from that because we have I mean, you know, you've been seeing Trek for a long time. We know a lot of people inside Trek. I'm a film person. I know a lot of the production side, so we have a good understanding of stuff. And if you break, and also, you know, again, back to family, got certain family members that are quite polarized on certain topics, whereas we've had to train ourselves to be quite balanced. And so we look at the information about the seasons. It's like, oh yeah, it'll get a season 3 because this, and this. It's rather than, oh no, one person said they're out of a job, therefore the show's just cancelled. It's like, yes, but this laundry list of reasons why it probably isn't cancelled. And I have to feel, excuse me for a minute, I'll let you be cool. Sorry, go again.
Cool.
Please.
Be cool. All right, so he's leaving. Yay. So I got to leave earlier, so now it's just you and I, guys. So, yeah. I am pumped for season 3. Really like the direction season 2 is going now. I totally agree, Chris. I think season 2 has a lot of potential to get a lot better, although I'm not looking forward to the Klingon story arc. That the one Klingon episode we did have kind of bored me. But hopefully that'll get better. And season 3 could be something fantastic. Cetaceans, Deltans, and introduce the Phassarians from Klingon Empire in season 3. Yeah, by all means, bring those people in. Like I said, I would love to see Lieutenant Eric's. Even if it's just for a small cameo in the background or something would be neat. Let's see. Ed Brown. Well, Doomcock's stupid name, by the way. Mecha Random, Egotastic Fun Time, and Midnight's Edge can now all choke, but they won't. That's the problem, because now comes the excuses of, oh well, you know, they were going to be canceled, but this happened, and I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what they say in that regard because it'll be interesting. Actually, went on Twitter earlier today, and the first thing I saw was Doomcock, who posted, CBS opts for a 3rd dose of Star Trek Discovery, or STD as he puts it. Blah, ha, 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 ha. I guess failure and humiliation is addictive. Very well then, CBS. Kiss your franchise goodbye. Star Trek fans are done. Star Trek is finally completely dead and beyond redemption. Nothing left but to gawk at the wreckage. That was his comment after hearing that they were renewed for 3 seasons, even after having done multiple lives and clickbaity titles saying that it was canceled and that his sources know they were canceled. The thing with their sources are these are people we've been familiar with for a few years. We've been doing this for 4 years now. And I find that their sources who have talked to us a few times are right about 15% of the time. So that's not a very good track record. And early on when Doomcock started talking to these people, I had messaged him and said, they're not very reliable. And he's like, okay, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you, Captain. And then all of a sudden he started running with all these videos. So I just kind of stopped talking to him. It's sad. I wish that the community would be a little more tied together. I find Egotastic Fun Time is a great channel. I love watching his stuff, especially on the Orville. But again, it's the same kind of sources. These guys are talking to each other and, you know, talk to my source kind of thing. And I don't know. It's always gonna be, no matter what they say in their videos, like, yes, it's 100% gonna not be renewed or it's gonna be canceled. And then when it does get renewed or canceled, it's like, yeah, well, the only reason that happened was because of this. And they're still gonna have those clickbaity titles and still continue to get the views that they're getting, which upsets me a little bit because, I mean, we try to take things as they come and not do the clickbaity. Is Discovery canceled or whatever? We tend not to do that. We like to stay a little more positive and go with facts. And our videos don't get quite as many views, which it's fine. It is what it is. It's just kind of frustrating when you're putting a lot of time and effort into videos. Samuel does a lot of renders. does a lot of work on this show, doing editing and stuff, and it's just like videos like even Space Doc. Space Doc started after we did, and now it's like way over 100,000 subscribers. We're only at 48,000 subscribers, or 48,000. We even had him on the show early on, because he does great stuff. But they're all just quick, short videos that have no renders, nothing new. They're just pictures that are found online, and the amount of effort we put into ours, and here we are stuck at like 48,000, which, it just kind of sucks. Like he can get like 10,000, 20,000 views in the first day. Meanwhile, we get like 3,000, 4,000, even though we put so much more time in. Just kind of frustrating. So anyway, sorry, I went off a bit of a rampage there, or a rant. Cash comes easy, integrity is hard. Yeah, like we don't make a lot of money doing this at all, really. So, no, Egotastic Fun Time is pretty open-minded. He has contemplated season 2 of Star Trek Discovery. Well, that's good. I haven't watched a lot of his Star Trek stuff. I watch his Orville stuff, but Metallic Fan 1442. Hi guys, sorry I missed the start of the podcast. Well, there's been a lot of articles that came out today talking about how season 3 of Discovery is a go, and also how Alex Kurtzman is not executive producer. He's now partnered with another producer. So there's that. Pastorific puts in €5 and says, I appreciate Trekyards much more than the other fans who aren't really anything else than people wanting to be right. Well, we appreciate that very much. So thank you very much for doing that.
Hey, buddy and friends.
Hate sells in the short run, Captain. Trekyards is the best. Yes. We've just been talking about how the haters that have been saying it was canceled are still going to spin this in their favor, and how their sources aren't 100% reliable. Maybe 15% of the time, the sources that they talk to, whom we kind of know, are not reliable. And I went into the whole us putting so much time and effort into a video, you doing the renders, brand new stuff people have never seen before, and yet we only get 3,000 views. They get 20,000 within the first 24 hours because it's clickbaity.
And yet we can't stop scripting more and writing more and putting new renders. Like, it'd be weird if we went lower in quality just because it would be easier.
Well, we tried it. We tried it with the data files, not lower in quality, shorter videos, much like Space Doc style,
with new
information dump with brand new graphics, and they still didn't get the views. So we've tried different formulas for that, and it's just frustrating. Captain Foley, as far as I'm concerned, Trekyards and J.J. Abrams is the reason why Star Trek is still alive. Keep up the great work. Well, that means a lot, although Trekyards and J.J. Abrams in that sentence together kind of scares me, but
I'm sure
I understand what you
guy.
mean. I understand what you mean.
And about sources, one of the things you guys got to remember is that I could create a new Facebook account with a weird name and no photos and message somebody and say, hey, I work for CBS. I can't tell you why, but I've got to be undercover, and here's information.
Yeah.
And, we've been sort of giving information before, and you've got to take on face value, but you can't ask for their passport photo to prove it's them, and then a Skype with them to do it on record, and then showing pictures from the sets, like, well, here's proof I designed this because here's my 10 sketches from the Discovery sets. Like, you can't do that, and so anybody can claim anything, and only that first person who gets the information knows the sense of who said it. And then the next person that reports it, he trusts that first YouTuber. And because they've said it, it is true. Because they say it's true. Even if they say it is rumour. Obviously, they want views and such. Like, we did one of those, and that was the size of the Shinjo. And we were completely confident, and we were right. And we got, most of our hardcore fan base saying, wow, that's amazing, thanks for information. And people saying, shut up, you're being dumb. And then we were right. That was pretty much the only thing we've like.
And then we get no credit or follow up for being right ever.
But it's fine.
It's back there. It's documented when we said it and when the actual sizes are released. So,
but season 3 is good. Because then we've got this is a great way of expressing our Trek interest, and the fact is we love every time something cool. You know, as just like with J.J. Abrams, the further they got away from the focal point of, the more like, oh, it's a new thing, like the new Section 31 ship. It clearly doesn't necessarily fit into whatever timeline, but it's like, oh, okay, that's cool. So we are, you know, we can now enjoy different things because we've already had that culture shock. You know, it's why it's kind of harder to report on season 2 because we aren't going to go on about the visual redesign. We aren't going to go on about the reboot nature of it. What's the point? That should be default. Default, you know, it's wrong in visual, but let's talk story. Let's talk narrative. Let's talk people, you know.
Yeah. Son Ronson, I don't think he wants me to read this, but you guys are clearly being paid to be positive about season 3. Winky face, my sources said so. So he's kind of being facetious. But yes, obviously, like I said, the Lamborghini is showing up next week. CBS has been very good to us.
Oh, and remember, let's see if you can remember this. What did I say to you in the car ride once about if I ever made like $1 million or 10 million, what would I do? What would I build?
Oh, what we would do? We, not you.
Well, I said it, but
build
yes,
exact replicas of the bridges of all of the hero ships of Trek, even the refits. And between each one of them, have like a tour. You go through the bridge, and then each one has like a holodeck grid between going to the next one. And it would be legit. It wouldn't be made of like plywood and stuff. We'd have like metal grates if it needs it. Something that's substantial. Sound effects. You know. Not built like the props originally were, kind of thing, but try to up the level a bit.
Yep.
That's what and it'll be like a theme park. I don't know. We'd have to get CBS licensing, of course, and get their permission. But
and so as
all the bridges, not just TOS.
No.
TOS bridges are like a dime a dozen, kind of.
And this is why I mentioned it, because you're getting the Lamborghini, I'm getting the Enterprise D bridge built. Just right there. We rented it. We've bought a house. It's been built. There you go.
There's a few Enterprise D bridges. I want to see a Voyager bridge. I want to see a Star Trek 2 refit bridge. I want to visit
6.
those.
Oh.
Yeah, cool. 6. Star Trek 6. Absolutely. But yeah, that's kind of the plan for Trekyards. If we ever become multi-millionaires, we'll have a Trekyards compound where we can do that. Hopefully. We'll talk to CBS. Get their permission first, obviously. But
interesting pastorific. Hate and bashing sells because it gives people a sense of being right, which I hadn't considered, but that's very true. Being balanced and true is still much better. I hadn't thought about that, but that's very true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed that Samuel didn't render a yellow alert animation for the breaking news. I could with my OBS. I got a yellow alert thing actually, but my internet stream is shit. So even though we got great internet and I got great speed tests, but whatever. There's maybe something with my computer settings. I don't know. I got to figure out what's going on. It's frustrating.
Now, okay, you obviously were there in all of the other treks for the most part.
Yeah.
How many of them were renewed right at the start? Because I seem to recall you don't know if it's renewed until after the season ends.
I don't think that actually came into a thing until like Voyager and the UPN network, because that's when you started hearing things like that. And it's also because there's more public information, the internet started and all that. I don't remember even not caring, like, or being a way to find out that it was like TNG was renewed or whatever.
Yeah.
So I honestly don't know.
Because certainly for Enterprise, like, there was no assumption it was being renewed every year. Is it being renewed after the season finishes or near the end? Like, yes, it is. Because if you recall, they didn't even know it was being cancelled until, like, right near the end of season 4.
Oh, for Enterprise?
Yeah.
No, they knew before going into season 4. That's why they wrapped up all their storylines in season 4.
Well, that's not. Well, they thought they were going to be like they thought do everything, but they didn't know. That's why they then made the last episode was like a rush job of we need to now do an ending. No. Because they crammed the last couple seasons of storylines into the whole season, or whole season 4. They knew before going into season 4 that season 4 was their last season. Well, and you say that, but they had a plan for season 5, and it included stuff that was directly linking off season 4.
That's the original plan. Yes, because all this was going to be played out during the course of the next couple seasons.
Well, no. There's specifically a memo that was them saying we have a plan for the season 5 mirror universe as a continuation of the season 4 mirror universe.
Should the numbers
Well,
change and they actually did get renewed, yes. But as far as they knew, season 4 was their last season, and that's exactly what it panned out to be.
yeah, I'll have to.
It could be that it changed last minute. Yeah, because no, they knew going into season 4 that it was their last season.
So I disagree, but we can just ask Doug.
Yeah,
but that's fine. But you know what I mean. I think they didn't know until like, well, that disregards the fact that I thought that they didn't know they were being renewed, or because council renewed, because like I still get the feeling they didn't know they get renewed until after the season. So not being renewed didn't surprise me, because also they're seeing how it relates to the audience reaction. I mean, if the audience doesn't like it like season 1, why would you renew it? But they got a genuine bounce back, and now they're confident this half in. Okay, we'll give them another season. So I wasn't thinking, oh, they haven't been renewed yet. There's lots of other shows get renewed earlier, but most of them either are smash successes, have a massive. I mean, that's the joke. Discovery hasn't got a massive inbuilt fan base. It should do. It doesn't.
It's got some hardcore fans. It really does.
But that's the show itself. But like Flash, Arrow, those shows, they're getting less and less viewed every year. But they've got both their inbuilt fan base, but also the comic fan base. But they've built an audience. Discovery's like, they didn't quite build an audience in the same way. You know?
Yeah. I think I read Pastorific's super chat. Jay Donaldson puts in $5. This is another year of videos for all Trek-related channels. Yeah. Some might be upset about season 3. I don't blame them, but it's going to make them money. Yeah, like the future's looking kind of bright with all the Star Trek shows on the horizon for a lot of the Star Trek YouTube channels. So, bring it on. We're here,
or at least,
and we're always going to maintain our level of reliability as far as that goes. I think. Hopefully, we built that. Our credentials, our credibility, and a lot of people hate Trekyards. Don't get us wrong, but a lot of people absolutely love us, or at least know about us. So, Joseph Petrick puts in €2. Here's some cash. Just by CBS, no approval required. Hey, you know what? That's what we should do: is buy the rights to Star Trek. I think that would be the way to go, my friend.
Ooh, Chris Goldsmith. To me, Discovery's already surpassed Enterprise. It's tricky. It's tricky.
Yeah.
I don't think we can be justified necessarily even liking the show or not liking the show until we get to the end of the season. What the payoff is. You know,
true.
Well, it might fall flat. The mystery is only as good as the resolution. Is only as good as the payoff. Otherwise, you're like, well, those were 12 episodes of cool, and then it was crap at the end. It's like, oh.
Mm-hmm. They're talking about a Pike series in the chat. We've talked about this too. We would like maybe a mini series of Pike because we know they've built the Enterprise bridge. They've said as much. So there is a bridge out there. We're eventually going to see it. So why not use that set? And Pike has proven to be a popular character. Some of the best parts of season 2 have been Pike related. So I see a mini series of Pike being a good financial decision on CBS's part, should they choose to do it. That being said, it's a good decision, and they haven't really been known for making good decisions as of late. So who knows? But I would love to see one personally.
And honestly, the agenda of who and what and why you cast, having a straight white male as the lead of a Trek show, you could see how many dozens of articles that, again, just like YouTubers just want views. Oh my, like how when they had how Kathleen Kennedy promoted Star Wars would be directed by more diversity, but every single one's been directed by a white male. Now that doesn't devalue the white males. It just means that the promise of diversity was wrong in that sense. Although it should be the best person for the job, not the race, color, creed, or even age. A 20-year-old can be better than a 50-year-old at directing. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean much except experience, but they would just be better at it. And so they could just be saying, well, we can't have a Pike because he's a white male. Well, we've already had 4 of those and we'll get bad press for it. Whereas Michelle Yeoh, that's the first, of that, nationality as a lead in a show.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way they promote it, even though it shouldn't be. You can say it as a side note, but you shouldn't promote it that way. Can they even get away with having a lead as a white male in a show? As for Picard obviously is a legacy character, and they'll probably, but you know what I mean, like that active sense of, well, let's just not do that because, it should be character, it should be alien. I mean, why not? You said so many times, why not have an alien captain? Why not have an alien lead character? It's expensive, but it could also be not expensive. I mean, the whole Jadzia makeup went down from hours to a bit of time.
Yeah, and they've already got one built in with Saru. He's already almost in that captain's. He's got joint custody of Discovery right now. But I kind of agree with you that because of his new evolution and his instant, reaction to the Baul with uncontrollable shooting the darts, he's kind of unpredictable right now. So as far as being a captain, he could rein it in though and actually pull it off. I think that'd be fine.
I like you said, small things. Do a season of 5 short treks, which is basically just one 5-part episode on the Enterprise bridge, on the redressed, whatever set. I mean, use Pike, bring him back in. We know he's out of the contract. We know he's not, back in for a full year. But I mean, they could easily have a 2-week shoot and get 5 shorts made. Maybe 3 weeks, and it'd be great.
Mm-hmm. AC Castillo puts in $2. Just stopping by to show support. Keep it up, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, AC. Much appreciated.
And Ghost Keep Gaming. So the Enterprise was cancelled on February 3rd, 2015. It was announced that Enterprise had been cancelled. This news was passed to the cast and crew during the 6th day of production onto Into Mirror Darkly.
And Into Mirror Darkly was season 4, yes?
Yes, it was the episode. It was the 2 before the last 4, so it was the 5 before the end.
Okay.
So I think the story was they knew it probably wasn't in another season, but they were hoping, so they thought they threw everything in just in case, and then it didn't get renewed anyway. That's just what I remember hearing.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't know this. Well, it's a moderator, DJ. Enterprise had a slashed budget per episode for season 4, from 1.74 million to around 0.75 million. Which probably explains why multiple episode arc, because that's a way of reusing assets. You build, right, we need Vulcan Complex, we'll be using 4 episodes. Great! We've got 2 episodes worth of budget for 4.
But they built the bridge. They built the TOS bridge because they respected the TOS era to the point where they used, I remember Doug talking about this, it being contractors. It wasn't cheap to get it done in like a weekend or whatever they built it in. but they invested that time and money to make things look proper.
Well, not just that, but they built the infrastructure in that time. But I remember I don't know if we've talked Doug about this, but they said, Michael, Denise, Doug, they did all the graphics on their own time based on previous work. So they just had them done. Because normally you'd have to pay people to do research, but it was just ready instantly. And therefore the budget was saved by them being so fans that it was ready. And they used, the hand phasers were just the toys that they brought in from CBS licensing, so that saved money. I mean, they were actually quite clever in multiple ways. I'm sure the costumes were easy to make, and they could have got the costume from TOS back. It was only in 2005. Yeah, that was a while ago now, Stuart.
That was a while ago. Oh man, heck, today a TNG would never get renewed after those first 2 seasons. Code of Honor. Imagine the shitstorm.
Yeah. I don't know, it's funny because people always say Code of Honor, but that's 1 out of 26, and there's some other stinkers, but how many good episodes? How many average? There's got to be more averagely good to great in season 1 than bad and the awful. I mean, have you seen episode 3 of Discovery? I mean, have you seen some of these episodes?
I have.
Episode 1 and 2, and there's some real stinkers, at least scenes. You know, so it's weird that one bad makes the whole thing invalid. That seems weird to me.
Yeah. And Michael Wells says slash the budget, but it was arguably the best season of Enterprise. As we talked about not that long ago, I can't remember when.
Today as well.
The ones with the least budgets are the best. Motion picture underperformed, so the budget for Star Trek 2 was cut. Star Trek 2 blew everybody out of the water, so they upped the budget for Star Trek 3. It underproduced, right? So they cut the budget for Star Trek 4. The best movies had the least amount of budget, and that's the way it seems to be. If you have too much money, and Beyond's the exact same way, yeah. Budget for Into Darkness after that one got cut again, and Beyond was a better movie. It was one of the best. It was the best Kelvin-verse movie. I'll go on record saying that. But it did underperform because of the stupid boycott thing against CBS. A lot of people didn't go to the theaters to see it, and they basically killed the opportunity for a fourth movie, which is sad because it was the best of the movies.
And because Into Darkness lost all the goodwill. Burn me, but fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. I won't go see number 3.
Yep.
You know, if that had been number 1 and with a lower budget, it would have absolutely smashed. It would have been the most successful Trek anything ever, easily. Less money equals if you can't just throw money at it. I mean, think about it. How many times in movies? I mean, come on, Batman versus Superman, or Justice League, sorry. Well, we need to fix our broken film because we didn't do it the first time. We're going to bring Henry Cavill back and do a CGI mustache, just try and fix this damn film. In the same token, this scene, we'll fix his makeup in post. Oh, that'll be $85,000. Okay, we'll fix this little thing, or just pay more attention because you've got so little money. It's got to be perfect on the goddamn day. You've got one day with this actor, makeup is this one day, so we're perfect. You just saved the bullshit, and now it looks cleaner, and maybe you have to simplify the makeup so it's easier. And then the sets, maybe you have to shoot them better because you can't, I really can't see that bit down there because it's not built yet. Let's light it in shadow with some red. Oh, it looks better than just a big generic hallway. I mean, there's a reason that some indie films can look absolutely incredible because they're using every penny. Whereas if you can just throw money, I mean, it's like Star Wars episode, Last Jedi. All the Star Wars are throw money at them situations. So it's about the story, and the acting's always good as a story. The story can fail or whatever, but throwing money at it, it's like it changes the paradigm, and it creates the need to every dollar you spend, you've got to earn 4 back, because you got to earn the profit, and the profit is always double, if not triple, to actually get past the marketing. So, by spending 80, you've now got to earn extra. Was that makeup change really worth 87,000 cinema tickets? Oh damn, you got reviewed poorly, you're not even getting half. I mean, it's a really simple equation if you break it down.
Yeah. Hey guys, love your show. You might like Trekked It or Wrecked It on your Geek News. Also friends in Canada. Cool. I'll have to check that out. Haven't heard of them, but...
And another DJ again, adjusted for inflation. TOS was 2.8 million per episode. TNG was 3.6. DS9 was 3.4. Voyager was 3.8. Enterprise was 2.7. Discovery is 8.2. Yeah. Where's that money going?
JJ Shen puts in $2. Of all the channels, yours is the most human. Thank you.
Thank you. And someone did say, we've only, 300-ish people watching, only 127 likes. Guys, like this video because it helps the analytics, it helps this get seen, and it's only really worth seeing if you're live in the same way because, hello. So I want to see 200 likes by the end of this. I need 200 likes. Stuart does not want likes. Did you hear his sigh? Or maybe the likes will make him
I do want likes. I'm talking to the moderators. Hold on.
I will keep talking to the people. The wonderful people out there in YouTube land. Voyage didn't always look so expensive. No. It didn't. But do you know how many shows they made per year and how much they stretched the budget and how cool, how groundbreaking the VFX was for the time? I mean, it's all relative. I mean, every show you can say has the best episode, the worst episode, the best acting, the worst acting. You know, even Leonard Nimoy had some garbage dialogue and some garbage performances. I mean, it's all, you know. That's why it's fun to look at Discovery very scene by scene, because then we judge the whole episode as it is. But honestly, you can judge each scene by scene, because this scene could be amazing, this scene could be awful, this scene lighting could be amazing. You know, it's funny when we ask simple things like, well, why are all the windows whited out? You know, simple things you only notice when you really go at it one by one, scene by scene, because it's like, why?
Yeah. 218 watching, or 281 watching now, and 151 likes. That always amazes me. How hard is it to hit like on a video?
Well, you're all going to do
if
it
you're
right
here watching,
now.
you must be enjoying, unless you're here to, you know, spy. But I can't believe that there's over like 100 people spying on us to see what we say and take that back to their.
Well, I feel like we're going to have like 600 likes by the end of it somehow.
Yeah. I don't want to get into that.
Oh, did you hear the other good news? And so much from Jonathan Frakes that Frakes is on the directing roster for Patrick Stewart's show.
Yes, and he also said that Lower Decks is hilarious.
I'm not sure that could be anything. Could be being paid money to say that.
True, but
and also
it's in the same headline.
It is. It's one of those things like some people like Family Guy or American Dad, some people don't.
Exactly.
So I mean, humor is super subjective.
Yes.
Ed Brown, a lovely but most silly question ever, and you can tell me why it's a silly question, Stuart. Hey, Samuel, when is Eagle Moss going to produce that 8-nacelle ship you did? I want one. Why is that a silly question, Stuart? But thanks.
What's the question? Sorry.
Hi, hey, Samuel, when is Eagle Moss going to produce that 8-nacelle ship you did? I want one.
I don't know. We'd have to talk to Eagle Moss. And where's my 3-nacelle ship that I designed? I want that from Eagle Moss.
Well, no, the answer is never, because they're not official. Never, ever, ever.
Oh, well, that's ever, never,
but
ever.
We will be doing a 3D print run of both ships. When the hell we come out? I mean, to be fair, though, you designed it like 2 years ago? Yeah, 2-ish years.
Longer than that.
Okay. So just the ease of 3D printing. I mean, if we tried it then to now, radically easier. Radically better quality for the price. So it's worth waiting. And Brian Kesterston, sorry about that. Samuel, when is your next fan film project coming out? I really enjoyed the last one. Thank you so much. I mean, that took 5 years and more hours than you could possibly count. The next one, I'm hoping maybe I can spend Saturday on it, because I'm finishing off one quick project I had to do for a dude. Got Romulan War, as always. I have too many shots I've got to do over the next 2 months, which are not going to get done. Nope. Just not going to happen.
Nope.
I'll try. Don't have a direct line to Eagle Moss. It's not how that works. Just because you don't want to... I mean, the only non-official ships they've done are all licensed official stuff from calendars and books, but more than that, they've actually been in multiple, like a game and a book and a calendar. So it's multiple licenses and, you know, it's a whole thing. It's, yeah.
The Orville has whited out windows.
Yeah, it doesn't. Oh.
I don't remember them being whited out windows in Orville ever.
Okay,
What do you mean?
He means that in exterior visual effects, all the windows are just white.
Oh, exterior,
yellow.
yeah. That's not what we're talking about, though. What we're talking about is...
I think he's trying to just put something fun across, because they're never whited out, and they're very, very careful to always have moving spacescapes. But yeah, that's where Discovery, you know, at least has in rooms inside their models. I find it strange that Orville doesn't have the 3D geometry of actual insides. They've got the money. I know when I eventually get a more high poly done version for Trekyards, I want to actually have it with full interiors because it's better than from the show. You know.
Mm-hmm. The Picard show will just be Picard and Q on a weekly trip until Picard goes mad. 90 Lancaster says you could 3D print your own bonus for fundraisers, perhaps, although getting them made specialty will look a lot nicer. We could do that, however, then it could raise a whole bunch of problems. There's been problems with some model companies that have their own Trek designs, but have got cease and desist letters, so we wouldn't want to sell them.
It's all about scope. I mean, we wouldn't do those for profit. I mean, obviously, we'd hope that any set we did, you know, if we sold 20, we'd hope that 20 would pay for themselves. You know, the production costs, because then that would just be worth it. Because then
and shipping.
Well, yeah. But I mean, like, if we could then get 20 out in the world and that be completely funded by the 20, awesome. Cool. We get them.
That being said, you can buy the Foley class. Please
Yes.
direct message me, and or email us at trekyards@hotmail.com. Subject line Foley class model.
Yes. But I mean,
I'll show it because people might not have.
Yes. But I certainly, definitely want a model of my own. I mean, I've done multiple ships now, which is awesome. And I definitely want to.
There she is.
Yes.
It's not completed. The Bizarre caps aren't on. It's not painted, obviously, but there it is. It can also be made in separated mode because it does have a separation mode. You know you want it. The 1701E is a Paramount creation. That cause Picard show to use the 1701F, which is 100% CBS. They had to approve it for STO. Very likely, yes. We'll probably see no sovereign classes in, which is sad. Maybe can they even show them as like display models in the background?
No, the idea of it as a image is a thing that's copyright. I mean, honestly, I think
that's dumb. That is stupid. When it's got Star Trek on it, you need to share those assets because that's just the division of the assets really pisses me off. Because why do that to your own show, your own creation, your own canon? It's beyond stupid. Just let them use it. Anyway.
No, I think I think they'll, if they've got to buy it, the right. I think they'll just buy the rights to, because you're right. That is a flat line of Paramount owns it. Paramount owns it. End of story. You know. No, I think they'll commit to show these because they need to show these somewhere. They do.
You would think, yeah.
Well, I mean, if they can pay for a Tribble and a Gorn or whatever, they'll bring in the yeah. Oh yeah, Phil saying you're a bit of a lower. The stream's a bit less.
I saw
good.
that.
Yes, that's okay. That's okay. And 175 likes, guys. Come on, 200.
Sorry, I'm just. There we go. Hopefully Paramount and CBS can merge. That would stop all of this. Yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, it depends because then you've still got the rights of who owns which imagery because there is still sub rights, especially TOS and TNG. The newer stuff less conflicting. But it's things like Bad Robot owns a chunk of the rights to the visuals of the JJ films. So if you wanted to make a JJ Abrams thing, you'd need to either pay or bring Bad Robot in because that was part of their deal. Paramount doesn't just own the JJ prize, owns it with Bad Robot.
Yeah.
So and obviously it's short. I mean,
which is fine. We never see the JJ prize again. I'd be happy. So we don't. But. Sovereigns could be retired if they move over the quantum slipstream vessel. Well, yes, but you would think Picard would have a picture of the Enterprise E somewhere in his ready room, his office.
Oh.
What?
Well, I mean, if he has a ship, it needs to have the gold line of ships.
Right.
So
That's
it
what I was
needs-
asking. Like, can they use it in the background like that? But I don't think they can.
But that's interesting, yeah, because does that mean that when they did the E for First Contact and they made all those ships, they had to pay Paramount had to pay CBS to license the TOS Colony, the Ambassador, and that'd be it, those two, to be able to show them in gold, even though literally across the way in the same lot they were making a show, because Enterprise and Nemesis being made on the same lot, they walked between the sets. So I don't know, it just seems strange that but I mean, the company name was slightly different back then. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how it all works, but it's stupid. It makes absolutely zero sense in my mind. It's all Star Trek. They should be able to use any and all assets
It's the canon
to make a good Star Trek.
Well, I mean, there is no rights issue with Star Wars, and they still chose not to use any familiar aliens in Episode 9, 7 and 8, because they can sell more toys. So I mean, there's multiple reasons, multiple reasons for all these things. It's silly and silly. But season 3, Stuart, I think.
Yes.
I mean, the fact being is that we went into season 2 with a sense of trepidation, as with season 1. Give us what you've got. We'll judge it as it comes. You've let us down severely with season 1, but you got better with an awful ending. But you could tell it was rushed, But you did do some decent stuff. You've now got, and I remember we were so excited when they're the same showrunners, and then we had the news of, they got swapped again. So it wasn't even like a full cohesive year of arc, although they reshot to try and make it more cohesive. But the fact is, it should get better. I mean, they're seeing what the fans' reaction is, and obviously hearing that most fans like Pike, most fans like positivity, most fans like all these different things, the exploration, the episodic. They'll say, well, we got better ratings, but in this, we'll do more of this, but in our own way. That's why season 2 has benefited. It has a more cohesive feel. It's actually based on fan feedback. They said, F it, we'll do our own thing. Season 1 it was not well received. They really retconned a lot of it back. But the simple thing of the approach, the Klingons was right, but the approach of them saying, no, Pike chose to have no holograms on the Enterprise, therefore holograms do exist, real-time holograms across the galaxy do exist in TOS, and just never used again in any future ship, is a wrong approach. It's making Discovery the primary canon when it should be the outlier in all things until it matches up, even if just base tech level, because tech is hard to explain than visuals, because if A is true, then how can B also be true? If you can real-time hologram across the galaxy, why can this other show not real-time hologram, not even real-time communicate across the galaxy? It's like, well, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I totally agree with you. They are making Discovery the one to be listening to, and
Yes.
I just disagree. Trekyards, there was a right issues until Fox has bought by Disney with Star Wars licensing due to Fox owning some rights of A New Hope, merchandising and distribution. See, again, that's just stupid. Let's sell off part of our rights. Just stop. It's Star Wars. Keep it together. If it's Star Trek, keep it together. This whole behind-the-scenes political entertainment bullshit is just that. It's bullshit, and it's annoying. John Harrison puts in £2. No fear, brothers. The heretic shall be slain. Okay. That's.
What's that in reference to
Evil.
specifically?
I have no idea.
I feel like I should know what that is. I feel like it's a Halo reference, but I can't imagine it's a Halo reference.
Yeah. Yeah, if Sony Studios can wise up, share the Spider-Man rights with Marvel Studios, why can't CBS or Paramount and CBS get a clue? Exactly. Although it took them quite a while for the Spider-Man thing to become a thing, so. So how many of the Trek villains exist out there somewhere in the time of Discovery, the Borg, the Hirogen, Species 8472, the Vaadwaur? Well, they all exist out there somewhere. It's annoying, but it exists, sadly. Well, yes, this is true, but I mean, people need to get off their asses and pull their heads out of their asses and fix things, because it's stupidity. It makes no sense.
I have
No common sense.
I have another question for you.
No, you don't. What is it?
and this is a question we've asked before, but is bad Trek better than no Trek? And simple answer, and there's a follow-up as well.
Is bad Trek better than no Trek? Yes, because there is still Trek, and there's some good nuggets in all of that little Trek.
And I just realised it's like, if you only had one, they released one Star Trek game that year. It was Star Trek Ship Command Creator 2. Is that really better than no Trek game, a garbage game that everyone hates? You know what I mean? Or whatever. It's like, I would say bad Trek. I would rather not have had episode 9 than episode 8 than have episode 8. It hurts stuff. So I think no Trek is bad Trek. Like bad Trek is better than no Trek. No, it's not better than no Trek. But mediocre Trek. We got a lot of mediocre Trek, so I think we both agree mediocre Trek is better than no Trek.
It's all subjective, because bad Trek, even though it's bad Trek, is still good Trek to some people, and it brings them into Star Trek, so it introduces them to other Star Trek. Because no matter how bad you say some Star Trek is, there's fans out there that absolutely love it.
I just know that I can actually quantify why it's bad. You know what I mean? I can break it down completely emotionless and just analytically break down why it's bad. You know what I mean? It's like when you know it's bad for actual reasons. It's not just I hate it because it's all these multiple levels. Like if we actually sat down and looked at 09 and actually broke it down, you know what I mean? It is objectively bad. You know what I mean? But Trek with a hope of better. Like I said this in a post, as soon as I posted the first thing on the Trekyards group saying new season, we did not call out it was cancelled, because a non-renewal yet is not the same as a cancel. Every time he'll try to engage us on a live stream of it's cancelled or it's not renewed, it must be cancelled, we said no, wait, no.
Yeah. Well, Tony Sussex makes a good point here. Yes, bad Trek is better than none. If you're not growing, you're dying. Some people might think 2009 Trek is awful. A lot of people also praise J.J. Abrams for saving Star Trek. So I see where both arguments come in, and I agree that bad Trek is better than no Trek, personally, because even in that bad Trek, there are nuggets of good moments, good things that are new.
I just think you can start to, like with Star Wars, we're oversaturated with less good stuff. Now there's less good Star Wars films than good Star Wars films. Like
99 Cash says, bear in mind you two disagree on which episodes suck. Yes.
Well, we mostly agree.
Yeah, but we do disagree quite often.
Yeah. It's like The Matrix. Would you rather have had Matrix 2 and 3 or just stick with 1?
Well, I don't like the cliffhangers. I would always want a 2, but I want it to be fantastic. And I was really not disappointed with Matrix 2. Yeah. Matrix 3 maybe a little bit. So I really don't have a problem with them. I'm glad that it was wrapped up. Could it have been better? Yes, but it's something that's out there that now you can say, okay, that's what exists. This is how I would make it better. Then just have it dead end and be like, what could they have done that they never did? We don't know.
I like some stuff in 2 and 3, but they're not good films at their core with some really cool bits in them, which is the problem. Whereas 1 is a great, culmination of all good things. But so what I said about I said this, I was the person that posted first on the Trekyards page, and I said season 2 has earned them a season 3. You know what I mean? It seems odd. I mean, I know that you can still break down a lot of the writing, and having the white male character in episode 1 mansplain then get killed is such a passive aggressive, and also aggressive against a huge amount of their demographic. It seems weird they would actively do that against their demographic. It's like, what was the point in that? Weird things like that. But it's still got some really good stuff, and better overall. And if they just take the lessons learned, they learn some,
Matrix 2 and 3 kind of ruined the myth of the first one. Yeah, but you can choose not to accept 2 and 3 as being a thing and still enjoy the myth that was created with the first one.
Well, that's still not how canon works, because now we know that the Enterprise
I know.
got bigger and then got smaller
What did
again.
Rick say? What did Rick Sternbach say to us yesterday about canon? He considers canon whatever you have in your head. You can make canon whatever you want. You can play in that sandbox, take what you want. And I totally agree with that, because the way I grew up and the things that I grew up with, and then all of a sudden canon comes in and screws it up, I still like to consider a lot of what I believed and grew up with as canon. And you can do that. That's why I always talk about head canon. I think it's very important. Official canon is just, okay, it says official in front of it. It doesn't mean that you can't pick and choose what you want to believe is canon.
The problem with that method is that you've now lost the right to argue. Because as soon as you argue a point that isn't canon, you've lost that argument. You know, you can't argue from a head canon if there's canon that actually overrides that, because you're just wrong. It might be nice for you, but, in my canon, Spock never had a sister. It's like, okay, but you're wrong. Like, sorry. So now we can't go down that line of your discussion, of your thought, because it's just wrong.
You still can, because you've watched it, you know it exists, so you can still argue the point, whether you believe it or not, and choose while you're sitting at home by yourself to watch it. Whether you want to believe that, that's fine. You can still argue the fact that it's a thing that they say is official.
How can you argue facts?
I'm just saying, if you want to talk about Spock's sister, and I personally don't believe she ever had a sister, but she clearly does because it's canon. I've seen Discovery. I can talk to you about Spock's sister, even though when I sit down on my couch at home and watch Discovery, I'm like, this isn't Spock's sister. This is an interesting, another universe where he did have a sister. Doesn't take away the aspect of being able to argue with people or to have a discussion. Sean Poland puts in $5 Canadian. Think no announcement of an episode count may signal scaling back episodes and budget. Not necessarily.
I think budget, yes. I think that's the only sensible thing to do. 25% budget cut. But also, we don't give them credit for. I think I sort of say every episode, but season 1, for some strange reason, every episode was in the 40-minute mark or less. Even though they had the ability to make any length at any pace. And every episode this season has been 50 plus, some 58. One was like 106. So actually, that might be why the money's gone like less far, because they are actually making now they're making about a third more content with the same number of episodes. Every 3 episodes you get one free. Which I give them lots of credit for, because, okay, the budget's far higher than last year, but you're getting a lot more content for it. It might not be like... And it's actually character stuff. They're not filling it with garbage. It probably, it's actually the character stuff. They're letting them breathe. The cheap, simple scenes, but yeah, give them to us. It's like even the Mud episode could have done with an extra 10 minutes of just, good stuff. And certainly the end. I mean, my God, why couldn't the last episode have been an hour and 6 minutes, or 75 minutes rather, just like episode 1 of season 2. Let us have this big epic conclusion rather than, it done.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm, like I said earlier on, I'm personally glad it's got a season 3. Season 2's really picked up the pace and really felt more Trek to me, so kudos to them. I'd go for a season 4 if season 3's on the same kind of upward climb as season 2. I have no problem with them going 7 seasons.
It's all about the ideas you have. If they're good stories with good ideas, I do think they're going to leave the Spore stuff at the end of this season, and that'll give them another refresh. Ironically, season 2 was a reboot in the sense of its positive Pike, new, very... Because from the first 20 minutes of episode 1, we had the direction in our minds. We knew the direction, right? Didn't know the end game, but the direction. So season 3, if they do a refurb of the ship, change the costumes, maybe even have the new TOS costumes, they could have another refurb of the show, while still having a lot of the same. Most of the money's already been spent, and get a lot of fan positivity, and actually have the ship evolving. Because in each season you've got this journey of evolution, which is actually a good thing. you know, could be fun. And then you have just a good story, and you change the art design a little bit, and you know, I don't know. I mean, if this was a show where they actually respected the fullest nature of canon, then I would love to see it go those 10 seasons to literally, you know, just like Rogue One. The last scene of the last episode is the first shot of, you know, the first episode of TOS. You know, it cuts to a digital William Shatner, you know, playing chess with Spock. And that's the last shot. And it's like, and there we go. We're back in line. You know? If they'd done that, I would have said, do as many seasons as, you know, tell us that journey.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway.
Last super chat, Stuart?
Yeah, we got another 10 minutes or so probably before we wrap it up. So, guys, if you have anything more you want to say super chat wise, please do so. I think we've covered basically everything we want to talk about. It's interesting that Alex Kurtzman's no longer the head honcho. He's kind of been he's partnered now, I guess. So that's good. It's always good to have somebody to kind of keep you in check so you don't have too much power. Look what happened to George Lucas.
Yeah, and hopefully she's a Trek fan that gets it, because you can have Trek fans just don't get it, or don't understand what the focus is or what the needs should be, and honestly, but we'll see. We will see before season 3 even starts filming, the final 2 episodes of season 2. We will see what she can bring as a writer, you know? So I'm excited.
If canon doesn't matter, then we should not care if Discovery fits into TOS. In fact, we should wish Discovery to stand on its own and keep doing its own stuff. That's fine. I mean, things have to evolve and adapt and grow. That's why I call it the Discoveryverse. It's its own universe for me, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, Discoverse, Discoprize. Kurtzman was not demoted. Don't kid yourself, Stuart. From full showrunner to co-showrunner is a demotion. Even having to share any power is a demotion. If we had a third Trekyards co-star who took over editing full time or took over visual effects, and we had to pay them a third, we'd both be demoted. We would, in power, in influence, in, it's not necessarily in a bad way, just it is. You know, if he could, you know, I would you agree? It's completely a demotion, not in like a negative way, just a power demotion. Yeah.
It's a sidestep. It's not really demotion, really, but it is kind of a demotion.
Yeah, well, the lady was on staff working for Alex. Alex wants an empire, not to run a show. He promoted her. Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, I agree. But as a co-showrunner, she can veto, you know, his stuff as well, unless he is literally just going up to be ahead of his mini franchise. Yeah.
Richard Kennedy puts in £4.99. Would you agree that Pike's Ready Room is getting a bit of 60s retro vibe? Hopefully that increases with each. Absolutely, it is. I love his Ready Room, and it's got the kind of that 60s-esque furniture, but yet still futuristic. I think they're doing a fantastic job with that, actually. So yes.
Yeah, that was a good set. It was a good redress. Those lighter, more earthy colors are important to Star Trek.
Yes.
You know, people are saying we should definitely do another live talking about Orville. We should probably do maybe live next week talking about the two-parter, as it's the much hyped last episode, and hopefully the next one can live up to its potential. What do you think?
Say it again. Sorry.
I was saying maybe we should do a live next week about the about the Orville two-parter, because then we'll have a conclusion. Lots of people wanted to perform for the last episode, and if hopefully it can live up to its potential, we should do a review on that, just because it's such a
If we can do an Orville review and actually get some people watching and some super chat involvement, that'd be awesome. I would love to talk about Orville. So we'll keep that in mind for next week. So guys, hit like before the stream ends. 220 people watching. At least 219 likes. Sean Pullen puts in $2 Canadian.
Thank you.
Fans love Pike, but can he back significantly? But can he back significantly?
Can he come back?
Oh, not really, because he's got to continue on his second 5-year mission. He can show up occasionally, I assume, but not really be there for season 3, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever you want. I mean, I think it's great to have him warp in and, you know, be there for 6 episodes, middle of season 3, and be like, "Hey guys, hey Christopher, nice to see you again." "Yes, hello, I'm back. I'm the hero." And we have 8 or 9 shots of him just going next to camera,
and scowling at Tyler.
Yeah.
Are you still here?
"Stay off my bridge, Tyler. I still don't like you." Not sure why they got that accent, but I don't know.
Yeah, looks like my transmission's being jammed. It's all pixely, but that's fine. It's been like that for a while. How's it look on your computer, Samuel? Crappy?
2 years ago, standard Trekyards.
Oh, that's great.
or a good day at the first year.
You're still super crystal clear on mine, so I don't understand.
Yeah. It's weird. Ooh, 214 likes. Guys, let's get to 252 likes. Because people have obviously stopped watching and started watching, so I'm sure we can get to 150 would be great. It'd be kind of nice to get exactly the amount that we end on. But guys, come on, who wants to be the last super chat? And, we have to say what you say and what are your thoughts on getting a season 3. What are you most excited about for a season 3? Given the fact there is a huge amount of season 2 left to go, and with a season 3 renewal, they might even fast track season 3 into production. I mean, if it all exists, if they're going to lower the budget and yet standing sets. I mean, especially since season 2 had to change the Shinjo Bridge into something and build more corridor sets. There was actually quite a lot of building for season 2.
David Bessick puts in $2, and it's the last super chat. Why do we need facts for sci-fi entertainment? LOL.
Wow. It's just good to have a coherent universe, I think.
That's a great answer. Because people cared enough to watch Star Trek for 50 years. Why slap them in the face?
Well, I said in a comment, someone said the fandom is what's killing Star Trek, and I pointed out it's the fandom that's paying for Star Trek and movies. It's like they're going to watch in the cinema, the Star Warses, they're buying the toys. I think there's actually reference to Star Wars, but who do you think is paying the money for everything that generates the money for the shows? The fans. It's now Infinity War is a bit different. That's just general people as well as fans. If you took out just the hardcore Marvel out of the equation, you still have a massive money base for the Marvel films, which is oh yeah, I like Marvel, they're fun. Star Trek is Star Wars is not necessarily as much the same. Star Wars is a little more the same, but still not as, I don't think, as general as Marvel, just because something appeals to you. Does Ant-Man appeal to you?
Yeah.
Does Captain Doctor Strange appeal to you? Does it's so varied that rumor has Disco season 3 will start filming in July. What do you mean, what rumor? It got announced today as a season 3. How have you got a rumor? Where's that rumor from? It was rumored to be cancelled. No, I don't know.
Oh, David Bessick again was the last super chat of $2. Sorry, forgot. I was 30 minutes behind the live. Oh. Well, catch up.
And you'll see this in 30 minutes. Hi, David. Oh, jeez. Okay, cool. So I guess Stuart will see everyone tomorrow night for Discovery.
Yes, I'll see you tomorrow night for my first reaction, Discovery. Yay!
I already can't remember what happens in the trailer, which is kind of good. I have no memory of what's going to happen.
Don't think about it. Just continue.
Don't think about it. And then we'll do live on Friday. And I'm doing a convention on Sunday with hopefully some fun prints for a later campaign you guys will see.
Mm-hmm.
And thanks everyone for joining in, chatting and talking passionately, but neither, being paid by CBS nor hating on, because what's the point in either? You know,
Exactly.
being fair is the most important thing.
If only the world thought that way, Samuel.
Well, we try and be a good influence as much as we can.
Yeah.
And
Anyway, guys,
we'll let season 3 live or die on its own merit.
that's right. Hopefully get better.
So until next time.
Bye.
No, he's Captain.
Oh, I'm Captain Foley, and he...
It's Commander Cookins, and I'm controlling the
That's
stream.
right.
So now I say we go in 3, 2, 1, bye.